She poured something in my drink and smiled like she loved me. So I handed that glass to the man who hated me most. My name is Marcus Ellis. I'm 33 years old, a self-made documentary filmmaker living in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I built my career from the ground up, shooting stories about endangered cultures and forgotten people, the kind of work that matters. But to my in-laws, especially Meredith, my career never counted as real work. Every dinner at their estate was the same. Meredith obsessing over her daughter Clara, and Walter, her husband, belittling my work. "Still chasing ghosts with that camera of yours, Marcus?" he'd snare. He was a lawyer, powerful, smug. Clara would squeeze my knee under the table, silently apologizing for their cruelty. I'd just returned from Peru, filming in high altitudes and sleeping in tents. I was exhausted, but Clara insisted we attend Meredith's birthday dinner. Just 2 hours, she promised. I ignored the pit in my stomach. It twisted tighter when Meredith cornered me in the kitchen and offered me a drink she claimed she made herself. Her hands shook slightly. "It's my special rosemary gin fez, just for you," she said sweetly. Her voice was off too cheerful. I thanked her, but when she turned to grab the hors d'oeuvres, I quietly switched glasses with Walter, who had just walked in. He never looked at what he drank anyway. 40 minutes later, Walter turned white as a ghost and bolted for the restroom. The retching echoed from the hall. Meredith's face went slack. She looked across the table at me, eyes wide. In that moment, I knew 2 things. She had meant to drug me, and now I had undeniable proof. I didn't react, just continued eating my cheesecake while Clara fussed over her father. Meredith kept casting glances at me, as if begging me not to speak. But I wasn't angry. I was focused. It was time to stop playing the polite son-in-law. I had a story to tell, and I was going to film it. That Monday, I took the glass to an old college friend, Naomi, who worked at a forensic lab. She owed me a favor. 3 days later, she called. There were sedatives in the glass, Marcus. Not lethal, but enough to knock someone out. What the hell happened? I just thanked her and hung up. I didn't tell Clara. Not yet. I needed more than suspicion. I started digging. Meredith had prescriptions for 2 kinds of benzodiazepines from 3 different doctors. There were whispers about her at the country club. Someone said she spiked a guest's drink once after an argument. Nothing concrete, but enough smoke to suggest fire. Then a break. Clara mentioned that her mother wanted new photos for a personal memoir she was working on. She insisted I do them. "She says she trusts your eye," Clara said, sounding bewildered. I agreed and showed up with more than my camera. I brought a sealed folder with Naomi's lab report. "Before we start," I told Meredith, handing her the folder, "I think you should see this." She opened it and blanched. "This is insane," she whispered. "That drink wasn't even yours," I said. Her smile vanished. "You don't deserve Clara. You're weak. I wanted her to see that." "You drugging me proves I'm weak," I asked. She didn't answer. I leaned in. "You're going to stop interfering, or I go public, not just with Clara, but with everyone. I have witnesses, lab results, even club gossip." She smirked. "She'll never believe you." I smiled back. "Let's find out." I didn't have to tell Clara. Meredith tried to beat me to it, claimed I was aggressive during our photo session. Clara confronted me. I showed her the lab report, the multiple prescriptions, the text messages where Meredith expressed her disappointment in my unworthy lifestyle. Clara sat in silence. "My mother wouldn't—" she started, then faltered. "Would she?" I didn't answer. She needed to answer that for herself. 2 days passed. Then a padded envelope arrived. No return address. Inside was a flash drive and a note. "You need to see this." I plugged it in. Footage from security cameras at Meredith and Walter's house. I watched, stunned, as it captured Meredith tampering with the glass, then Walter drinking it. But there was more. The next clip showed Meredith screaming at Walter after we left. "You idiot! That was for him, not you!" He barked back. "This is the third time you've done something like this. You need help." I watched the video 3 times. Meredith had a pattern. Walter knew, and now I did. The final clip sealed it. Meredith and Walter talking 2 days later. "He knows," Walter said. "Let him know," Meredith replied coldly. "Clara won't choose him. I'm already planting the idea that he's manipulative, that he's hiding things. She'll believe it, just like she believed about Alex." Alex. I Googled the name and called Clara's old roommate. Turns out Clara had a serious boyfriend years ago. Medical student. Sweet guy. Until, suddenly, she dumped him in a cloud of scandal. Her parents said he stole from them. He swore he didn't. Clara never knew who to believe. Now I did. I compiled everything: footage, text messages, lab reports, past incidents, names of doctors. Then I invited Clara's brother Ethan and his wife, Nina, for dinner. Without warning, I played the security videos on our TV. Clara sat stunned. Ethan turned pale. Nina just whispered, "Finally." Turns out Nina had been a victim too. Subtle attacks, manipulation. Meredith made her feel small. Ethan had dismissed it until now. "My parents," Ethan whispered, "they don't love us. They want to own us." Clara wept, not just for what my parents had done to me, but for what they'd taken from her. We confronted Meredith and Walter together. Clara demanded answers. Meredith denied everything until I played the footage again. Walter cracked. He admitted it all. The drugging, the lies, the manipulations. "We were protecting you," Meredith insisted. Clara laughed bitterly. "No, you were controlling me." We left that night with nothing more to say. Meredith called. Clara ignored it. Ethan cut off contact too. Months passed. Clara and I started therapy. I turned the footage into a documentary, not about revenge, but about control and what it costs. I called it Silent Chains. It won awards. Then an envelope arrived. Legal documents, a property deed, Clara's childhood home, signed over to her. No note, no apology, just a transfer. A silent concession. She never moved in. She donated it to a domestic abuse center. "Let something good grow from all that poison," she said. A year later, we had our first child, Lila. Meredith and Walter sent a card. No gifts, no visits. Clara replied with a simple photo. No message. Just Lila, smiling, in my arms. That was all they needed to see. That was enough. They never apologized. And maybe they never will. But we reclaimed our lives on our terms. Not through retribution, but revelation. Not by playing their game, but by refusing to let it define us. We lived, we thrived, and in the end, that was the sweetest revenge of all.